Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, Sandi Ballard, the super badass business coach. Why? Because I help people find their badassness, realize their badassness, so they can do more, be more, and achieve more. And that's what this is all about. It's about no more excuses. It's about taking that step. It's about doing things. And like last week's podcast with Lee Bridges, do shit so you can get shit done, right? I mean, that's really what it is. So thank you. Thank you for being here, for listening, for sharing this podcast, if you do that, with others, and for investing in you and your success. And a shout out to 3 new listeners that reached out to me on LinkedIn: Joel in Charlotte, Kenny in Jacksonville, and Vinny in Akron. And if I missed you, connect with me again or reach out to me. It's been a crazy week with the rebrand. Yes, rebranding, and just kind of upgrading a little bit and doing my website, which is going to be super cool. Is super cool because it is out there, badassbusiness.coach. And yes, there is for women only, the Taboo Tribe. So ladies, no matter where you are, well, where you're living or where you're listening, you can become a member of the Taboo Tribe and connect with women, other badasses all over the world. Super cool. And watch the website, sign up for the email list. It's free. Sign up for the email list, and I'll let you know about other workshops and podcasts, or not podcasts, other workshops and events and things like that. And I guess you could get this podcast delivered directly to you. So, all right. As I mentioned last week in the podcast, I interviewed Lee Bridges, author of Do Shit, Get Shit Done. And the video interview is actually on YouTube. So if you didn't catch that, feel free to go to my YouTube channel and watch it. It's kind of funny at the end. So if you listen to it, it might not make sense at the end where we're laughing because he said something about knowing the LA hand sign, and then I showed him some hand signs from Indiana, one of my friends for East Side, West Side, and who knows what else we did and we're laughing about and probably offended somebody, but there you go. Anyway, did you listen to Lee's tips? Did you buy his book? It's on Amazon. All right. Listen and watch the interview if you missed it or just didn't get to it. Again, all these podcasts tend to build upon each other, but it's just he has a great attitude and just some great tips. And sometimes people's advice and tips are easier said than done, right? You know, when I tell you to just do it, to just take that step, hell yes, easier said than done. But like Lee said, what else are you going to do? You know, and I remember a few years ago, I don't know if I ever talked about this in a previous podcast, but a few years ago when my badass self went ziplining for the first time, I mean, hello, why did it take me so long? I guess I could just never find anyone to go with. And so I went ziplining for the first time, and the unmentionable happened. No, I didn't pee my pants or worse. I hesitated. Yes, I, super badass business coach, hesitated on the first step. What? I know. What the hell is going on? I was confused myself. I mean, I've jumped out of airplanes. I've gone parasailing. I've been hot air ballooning. I've done scuba diving, which is under the sea, under the earth. And I'm the first one to raise my hand to try anything, like to be on the roof of a house. I love it. I'll go on the roof anywhere. You know, so what in the fresh hell was this? I was like, why am I hesitating? What was I so scared of? I mean, this was a really short line. I don't know if you've been ziplining, you know what I'm talking about. They baby step you into it, just like everything, baby steps, right? But if you've never been ziplining, you can see, you have short little bursts and then they get longer, right? I could see the landing spot. And it took me probably 3 to 4 minutes of talking to the woman guide and talking to myself, getting out of my own head and laughing to let go and just go. So what was missing? trust. I lacked trust. Once I let go and zipped, I felt the security of the harness. Well, what I didn't know to do before was to just sit down and feel the harness, to feel that security and have that trust. But once I did, it was like that, a breath of fresh air. I was like, oh, it's got me, right? So the second section, that line was a little longer. I hesitated again. Not as long, but I hesitated. Well, here's the thing. I couldn't see where I was going with this one. So, what was the issue there? It was beyond the trust. It was uncertainty. Because I was now sitting in the harness, but I was still holding on. Uncertainty. I couldn't see where I was going. And I did talk about that in one of my podcasts and just in the general social media posts, and one person was like, well, I'd like to see where I'm going before I take that step. Well, we never see. Well, what if it was into a brick wall, he said. I think it was on Twitter. And I'm like, messaged me, and I'm like, we don't know until we let go. And the thing is once I let go, it was exhilarating. Once I landed, I said the same thing that many of you have said or would like to say and feel. What the hell was I so scared of? Why did I hesitate again? Trust and now uncertainty. I'd built the trust. I felt secure with the harness. But then, much like this bullshit year, uncertainty. I didn't know where I was going. And then once I realized it was okay, that uncertainty is just, sometimes can be a little exciting, right? You've got to get out there because it's fun and energizing. Once I let go of the uncertain mindset. Yes, easier said than done. And now you can guess how the rest of the adventure went. It was so great. I laughed so hard and I had a blast. It was an amazing time. It was an amazing day, amazing opportunity. And many people say that once they let go, once they have the trust, take that first step, get through the uncertainty. I learned a lesson that day. Yes, easier said than done. And trust is everything. But what did I do that day? I let go and took that step. And some of you may be saying, well, I don't have anyone I can trust, or people have broken my trust before. Well, then they're not your people. Again, easier said than done. I've had to fire a lot of people in my life, and I've also had to adjust who I share what with. I've built my tribe because life is a team sport. And like Lee said in last week's podcast, you're going to screw it up the first time, but you'll learn. Like I said earlier, baby steps, much like learning to walk one step at a time. I doubt any of us took that one step as an infant or a toddler or whenever you decided to walk and just ran screaming across the room and then never fell. We've fallen many times. So it's your time. It's your turn. It's your time and it's your turn. This year has been full of uncertainty, and that roller coaster ride is still not ended. But take that step, okay? I promise you, you may not feel like it went well at first. You may fall flat on your face. But like my first step off of that zip line, that first landing, or before the landing, the launch pad, I guess, I learned. I let go of the fear, and I had a blast. And it was an amazing opportunity. So what can you let go of this week? What will you take that first step toward? Because, like I said, this pandemic is not ending. The roller coaster ride has not stopped. Shit is still going sideways for a lot of people. And for some it's getting worse, some it's getting better. So again, we're all in a different seat, and it's still going around and up and down and spinny loopies, right? So get through it. Whether you have the trust or not, you got to take that step. And I'm here for you. If you need me, I can help talk you through it, all right? Please reach out to me. New website or new email address, just Sandi Ballard. Or Sandi at sandiballard.com. Make sure you put I's in there, not Y's. It's Sandi with an I at Sandi with an I, Ballard, Ballard.com. Check out my new website, badassbusiness.coach. Connect with me. Take that step. And if you can't, again, reach out to me. Let me help you because it's an amazing world out there full of opportunities. Have a great week. Cheers.